All right, YouTube, we've got some breaking news that Justice Scalia has died. Apparently, he was found after having had the radish in bed. So, not sure what he died of. It's typical old dude, so probably just his heart stopped while he was sleeping or something like that. But he is apparently being reported as dead. This is fortunate and unfortunate. You see, Scalia and sort of the conservative justices of the court, whenever they're consulted on an issue regarding something like guns or something like that, they usually make the right decision. Whenever they're consulted on something regarding religion or something like that, a social issue, typically they go haywire. They don't really know what they're doing, I guess. The Supreme Court is not apolitical. It's really supposed to be. It's supposed to just properly interpret. It's supposed to look through the laws, see if they conform to the Constitution, properly interpret things. For a very long time, though, in fact, as soon as this nation was in its infancy, the Supreme Court really hasn't done that. It's made many mistakes and many correct decisions along the way. And there is a litmus test for this, of course. You can look, it doesn't take a genius to look at the Constitution and figure out exactly what the founders' intent was. Unfortunately, sometimes the Supreme Court fumbles and doesn't fully understand that. The big worry now, of course, is that Obama might get another Supreme Court justice loaded up on there before he finally leaves and goes back to Hawaii to play some more golf than he already is. Hopefully Congress can either block him from appointing a justice, run out the clock until somebody more competent can get in there, which I imagine will not be a Democrat, which has its own concerns, of course, on something like gay rights or abortion. Of course, you almost want the court to be stacked with a bunch of hyper-liberals. But then they inevitably get asked about something regarding firearms or something. That becomes a problem. Right now we have actually a relatively balanced Supreme Court, but Obama has already appointed two individuals there. Giving him a third individual to appoint, it's kind of obvious what he's going for when he puts people there. He's not putting people who lean left or they're kind of left of center or just they have a general appreciation for the separation of church and state. That's not the sort of person he's putting there. He's loading the court as much as possible with people who think that the Second Amendment means we have a right to have a military. So this could become a problem. It'll probably figure into the election. Congress, if Obama is not capable of putting forth an appointee that conforms with the will of the people as shown by the composition of Congress, which has to okay the appointee, which that's basically what the composition of Congress means. If you have a Congress that's 90% people with some specific ideology, you would expect that generally reflects the public's wishes. The public has made it clear they don't generally agree with Obama's style of policies. Anybody who he puts on the court is going to share some of them. Will he be able to put forward somebody, nominate somebody for the Supreme Court that will be generally acceptable on most of the issues or some of the issues in order to get one through, not get stonewalled? That, of course, will remain to be seen, I think, for some time. I think you just saw the birth of another election issue, though, especially if Obama tries to ram somebody through that's really hyper-partisan, and at this point he's not up for re-election. He's already in his second term, so he might decide as the final whacking of his cock against Congress to nominate somebody who's really, really far out there on one or more issues and might try to really push the envelope by doing so. And then, of course, you've got the risk that even if they were to block whoever he wants to put forward until he's already out of office, what happens if what happens, Satan forbid, if Hillary becomes the president or something like that? It'd be even worse. She'd just choose whatever far-left woman happens to wander across her path first who has a doctorate, really. That's the sort of person she would put on the Supreme Court, and somebody who's in bed with corporations, because that's where she's getting all of her money from. But, it's fairly clear the people of the United States aren't generally enamored to Obama in terms of some of his policies, guns. foreign theater. They're willing to give him a pass largely now on the economy because it's kind of humdrum as far as what the economy is doing. Might collapse again, but right now it hasn't yet done so. It's declining, but it hasn't collapsed. So they're giving him a pass on that. But really, what does the Supreme Court have to do with the economy at large? It can make issues that will affect parts of the economy. Other than that, it generally doesn't cross over. It's more about the social issues. Oddly enough, I side more with the Democratic Party, and even would be considered by some further left than they are on an issue like gay rights, on an issue like abortion, something like that. But we see fairly often lately a lot of decisions related to the individual ability to own firearms, to defend yourself, and so forth is increasingly getting put before the Supreme Court. It would not be good to have another Obama appointee there, replacing somebody who has been, he's a hyper-religious idiot, but he has been a good advocate for people's Second Amendment rights, at least. So Scalia is dead, which opens up a whole can of worms onto the election, really. It'll be interesting. I imagine that at the next debate, one question will probably be, what kind of person would you be looking for to put on the Supreme Court if a justice retired or passed away or something? I imagine that will probably be one of the questions at this Republican debate that's coming up here. It probably wouldn't have been a question at the Democratic debate, though. They would have ignored it just like they ignored Clinton's foundation being subpoenaed, or the Clinton Foundation taking foreign money from the Saudis or Chinese. One of the moderators was a donor to it, so not surprised that they skipped that part of the questioning. But yeah, Congress as the sort of herald of the will of the people, more or less, I would say more of less in recent years, really should consider stonewalling anybody that Obama puts forward, unless they fit a series of qualifications, like they actually know what they're doing. They have some level of respect for the Second Amendment and don't think that it has to do with apparently a military created after the Second Amendment was created. Because we've got, unfortunately, a problem with certain federal judges and Supreme Court justices thinking that. It's retarded. Common sense would tell them that they're wrong. They can't possibly consider themselves right and not be delusional. But that's what they think anyway. That's about all. Peace out.